welcome to Cobra Kai Never Dies. I'm Nina.
I'm Letha. And we are celebrating a major milestone. We are halfway through season 1.
Yes, we're talking about episode 5, Counterbalance.
Not the greatest name, but good episode.
You didn't feel like it captured the heart and soul of this episode? I'm guessing no.
I mean, it's a good episode. Clunky title. I'm just saying...
What would you have called it?
Miguel's Montage Unlimited.
I would have called it Kyler getting beat down with a cafeteria tray.
You know, it's long, but it really captures the zeitgeist.
So. It's a little poetic.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going for. Okay, IMDb synopsis. Cobra Kai gains its second student. Daniel has an intricate plan to get payback on Johnny. Miguel defends Samantha against Kyler during lunch break. Aww.
These synopses just do not capture
they just
the magic of the show. So we thought about how we're going to talk about this episode, because there's a lot of
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot of forward movement on a lot of different plots. So we're just going to take it one plot line at a time.
And we will probably get sidetracked.
We'll probably get sidetracked, because obviously these all intermesh in various ways. So, first of all, let's talk about Daniel.
God.
Yeah. So Daniel, who, if you may recall, in episode 4, had his big car salesman billboard defaced with a penis drawn on his face with red spray paint, and found out
of the century.
Yeah, he found out that it was Johnny by way of Johnny leaving a bunch of Cobra Kai dojo flyers on top of the billboard. And so this episode, most of it he spends trying to enact this really weird and elaborate payback.
Oh, it is Baroque. I mean, he goes so deep. I think he has just he's been plotting this for months.
And we both decided that instead of explaining what he's doing, we will let him do so.
Somebody got some payback.
Daniel, do you really think it's a good idea to start a war with Tom Cole?
What? Oh, no. It turns out Tom Cole was not the one who messed with the billboard. It was Johnny Lawrence. Okay, after 30 years, I thought that guy might have changed, but he's still the same prick he was back in high school. Guy thinks he could bring Cobra Kai back to the Valley? Not on my watch.
What did you do?
I told Zarkarian I wanted to buy the Cobra Kai strip mall.
But why would you do that? What do you want with a crappy strip mall in Reseda?
No. You're gonna love this. I wasn't really gonna buy it. I just wanted to tweak Zarkarian so he would jack up the rent. And it worked, because now Cobra Kai is gonna have to shut down. Could I have yours? This is delicious. It's got this peppery...
You're telling me that the whole Zarkarian dinner was just some convoluted plot so you could raise the rent on your childhood karate rival?
I think you're oversimplifying things.
Well, what about the other stores in the mall? I mean, did you even consider them? Look, I don't know about Johnny Lawrence or Cobra Kai. All I know is that my husband is acting like a mental patient.
Yeah, what I think is insane about this plan is initially they allude to what he's doing when it opens to this fancy dinner scene at a country club, and he's sitting across from, I think his name is Armand.
Armand.
He's he's a character. He owns a lot of shops, and he's currently the landlord for Johnny's dojo.
Incidentally, and I think this is important, he is Daniel's guest at this country club dinner because he was kicked out of the country club for peeing in the shower.
You know, this was an issue raised by Seinfeld. I think Costanza also peed in the shower, and his argument was, it's just tubes. They're all tubes. They're all going to the same place.
That's fair. And as Armand defends himself ably, he says, everybody does it.
Everybody does it.
I'm not saying that we do it. I'm just saying that that's what Armand says.
We remain agnostic about being in the shower.
Right, but...
There are worse crimes. For example, Daniel's crime. Of taking a simple act. I guess now it's confirmed that Johnny did, in fact, deface the billboard. I know that we had all been speculating wildly about
Nobody was speculating wildly. It was obviously Johnny.
I mean, I'm still looking for the real vandals, but for the sake of this story, we're going to just say that
Okay,
Johnny
so
did
Nina
it.
has a weird grassy knoll theory about who did the billboard. I don't want to get into it, but it's clearly Johnny.
No one ever found the empty can of spray paint. There's no evidence.
Yes, they did! On top of the... Okay, anyway.
Who really walked on the moon, Letha? Anyway,
That's another podcast for another time.
But yeah, so normally someone would take that as a harmless prank. This was last week or something. Daniel, you think at the end of the last episode he's forgotten about it, but no.
He wants to put not only Cobra Kai out of business, but like as his wife very reasonably points out, he's putting like a lot of small business owners out of business so he can enact this weird and petty revenge. And it's like...
Which is weirdly sociopathic because...
It's so classic, like, evil rich dude.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and he keeps alluding to, or he will allude to kind of his humble roots. He tells Armand, hey, like, we're not like the other people in the Valley in this country club. We earned our money. And so I guess that gives you the right to take a personal day and...
Basically try to ruin not just your high school enemy's life, but like several other people's lives just because you're pissed about having a dick on your face. And, you know, towards the end of the episode, Johnny is desperately trying to raise money by pawning all of his stuff. Doesn't work out well because he has no stuff worth pawning. And then you see him in his local bodega, which is also going to go out of business because of Daniel's machinations, reaching back in the fridge for his quarters. And then there's Daniel, who I think just comes in to flaunt his evil.
Oh yeah, I totally think he was waiting in the parking lot for probably the entirety of his personal day. I think his personal day was split up in fancy lobster dinner with Armand to try to like cheat several business owners and try to like drive up rent prices in Reseda. I think he spent 20 minutes at Miyagi's grave. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
And then he just spent the rest of the day in this parking lot waiting for Johnny to go in to get his cores. And they were out of cores that day, which was heartbreaking.
No, there was one
there was?
lonely pack in the very back.
Okay, I'm glad.
And he gets it from the back, and he turns around, there's Daniel in his suit, being all smirky. And, you know, again, this is something like stepping back on a meta level. I like that the show acknowledges that Daniel is a sociopath here. Like, I like that his wife is like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Would this be the point where you were like, you saw maybe the warning signs, like, hey, it's kind of weird that he goes to Miyagi's grave every couple months and...
Do you know what? I'm going to say something unprecedented for me.
Oh, Lord.
So once his wife tells him off, he goes to Miyagi's grave, and he's basically just saying to the dead spirit of Miyagi, like, I just let anger take over, I need more balance, etc. He has a flashback. He prunes...
First of roughly 8,000 flashbacks
right.
People have.
Yeah, and then he prunes the little bonsai on Miyagi's grave. And do you know what? Ordinarily, I would be laughing my ass off at all this, but, like, it's a little touching. It's a little touching.
I'm curious, what do you think about Miyagi's lesson about balance?
You know, it's
frighteningly basic.
It's frighteningly basic. It's a bit vague. Like, okay,
I have so many theories about Miyagi's origin story that maybe Miyagi doesn't really know karate. No, not true. I know that he does some, but he kind of picked it up along the way, much like Ralph Macchio did.
Other interesting things about Miyagi: his gravestone clearly says that he was a father. Where are his real children? Why is Daniel's son the only one like pruning the bonsai on his grave?
Okay, there's clearly a Reddit thread entirely dedicated to Miyagi's lost children.
Who's the real heir of Miyagi-Do karate? Let me ask you that. And will that person come in to challenge the status quo?
They could theoretically do like 20 seasons of this show. There's a lot there,
right? The universe. It's a very rich tapestry. But anyways, Daniel takes this flashback as his cue to like get back into karate, and I suppose this is like the temporary subsiding of Dark Daniel, and because now he's doing katas.
Yeah, I love this. So we'll get to this, but I like the various montages in this episode. But he like cleans up the east wing of his home, which is like Hearst Castle, and like puts on his gi, and he does kata.
He puts on the headband he iconically wore. And
I kind of love that headband. I gotta say,
yeah, it's a good headband. Yeah. And also, can I just point out one thing that nobody cares about, but this is California Watch. One thing I praise this show for is being a very accurate depiction of the general shittiness that nobody acknowledges as most of California sometimes, you know, strip mall after strip mall. But, when Daniel goes to visit Miyagi's grave, it's a beautiful autumn day, all the leaves have changed colors. No.
Yeah. I was like, wow, what part of California is that? They clearly imported those leaves from Connecticut or something.
It's bullshit. We do not have seasons in California. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, but the kind of like stark contrast between like shitty strip mall with dojo and like auto dealerships, and then that, like...
That's California.
Yeah.
But yeah, that like beautiful...
We're both on the East Coast now, safely away from that.
But that Norman
Norman Mailer.
Is Norman Mailer who I'm thinking of?
No, that's a playwright.
Shit.
Norman Rockwell.
That Norman Rockwell kind of graveyard does not exist on the West Coast.
Norman anymore.
I know. Let's talk about that.
It's a serial killer name.
Moving on, before we get too into the weeds or the...
Wait, can I just say one more thing?
Yeah.
It's not really related to Daniel. I guess it is. But during that lobster scene where he's trying to, like, trick poor Armand, who is onto his bullshit about buying up the strip mall or whatever, you have a small cutaway to one Anthony LaRusso, who... By the way, I think now it's clear, it's canon now, that both of his parents hate him, because they cut to Amanda, his wife, going, hey...
Anthony, stop drinking the butter!
Stop drinking the butter!
Which is disgusting, so... fair.
But the character assassination...
I know. Like, and then you cut to him talking to Armand's kid, and they're both, like, bragging about how rich their fathers are. And you're just like, you know what, This is from now on a regular feature of this podcast. Anthony Watch.
The criminal neglect of
What is Anthony LaRusso doing?
Did he use any of his personal day to parent poor Anthony LaRusso? Maybe
who's just drinking the butter so he can get enough sustenance.
The butter.
Yeah.
Well, he's not getting pancakes at home.
Right?
Who knows what he's eating?
Who knows? This kid could be like out on the street during
Daniel's
the day.
too busy feeding lobster to this guy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. All right, so moving on from Daniel...
I would like to talk very briefly about Aisha, Sam's erstwhile friend, joining Cobra Kai.
Major character development of Aisha there, who's kind of just thus far been friend of Sam, kind of sad person being bullied, neglected. Right,
and I think... Perhaps, like, some of us might have seen this coming, that she would join Cobra Kai, just as
she's tailor-made for Cobra
Kai.
But,
yes, and I also want to talk a little bit about the philosophy of Cobra Kai, which, there's different ways to interpret, like, Cobra Kai, and you can think of it as, like, as Daniel does, as the worst thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, the Antichrist.
Right, and, you can think of it as, oh, yeah, they're so badass. But I think in between those things, I want to go on record saying that I think the Cobra Kai philosophy doesn't work for everyone, but it does work for some people. And it's like...
Yeah.
It
is a Rorschach test.
Right? And for Aisha, when she comes in, like, Johnny gives her this... Well, first of all, Johnny says that no girls are allowed in karate because women have hollow bones and such. Miguel convinces him that, like, hey, Aisha's going to be a paying customer. You need that. Forget your stupid no girls allowed rule. And I love that, like, the first thing that he has, like, after Miguel convinces him, they go out. And he's basically like, okay, well, you two fight each other. Miguel doesn't want to fight a girl, but Johnny's like, well, you just said that women are equal. Yeah. Why not?
Johnny, I think, likes to see things in black and white. He's like, hey, if you want me to get on board with gender equality, let's duke it out. I mean, Johnny is
on board.
Sexist.
But I think he's in a weird way like a ninth wave feminist. Because he's like,
possibly
fight each other.
Possibly.
Bam.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, Miguel kicks her, he feels terrible, but she gets right back up and body slams him. And
she does.
Yeah, she does. And can I say, like, why? I'm going to sound like a complete psychopath here. But, like, okay. So what I like about the Cobra Kai philosophy is that it's, like, it's crazy. And it's, like, toxic. And it's sexist and misogynistic and all of those things. But there's also, like, an element at the core of it, which is that, like, kids are strong. It's actually very Tiger Mom, actually. Did you know, like, I read that book that the Tiger Mom wrote, and, sure, there's, like, lots of insanity in there, but, like, what she's basically saying is that, like, people are always trying to tell kids that they're weak, that they can't do things, that they're not going to be able to handle this, and she's like, I think kids are inherently strong and will handle what you throw at them and be better for it. And I don't think that's true of every kid, but I think it's true of Miguel, and I think it's true of Aisha. Because you see Miguel's training. There's
so many great quotes in there, but like that relate to Cobra Kai philosophy. Johnny says, your enemies don't care what day it is, they prey on weakness. So it's almost like he's constructing the external world as like prison. It's like Oz. Mm-hmm. And you have to, like,
you gotta be tough.
You gotta shank the other guy first before they shank you.
And here I think we should put in the fantastic and somewhat moving speech he gives Aisha.
Yes.
My student tells me you've been harassed at school.
Yeah, mostly online. I get mean texts and emails sent to me. Makes me not want to go.
And who sends you these messages?
Well, they're mostly anonymous. These kids create fake accounts. And they tell me things like I'm ugly and that I should kill myself.
Oh my God. What a bunch of pussies. Back in my day, if you wanted to tease someone, you did it to their face. There was honor, respect. These geeks hiding behind their computers, what a bunch of spineless losers. You're not afraid of these losers, are you?
No.
You're gonna take shit from these losers?
No.
Good, because when I'm done with you, you're gonna be sending a message back. Only it's not gonna be with your keyboard. It's gonna be with your fists.
Oh, man.
And that's Cobra Kai.
He declares her a natural Cobra. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's an exciting little development for her.
I think it leads very naturally to Sam's plotline,
Yes.
who is now feeling the sting of exclusion from her stupid friends, Moon and Yasmin.
Well,
And I guess they are California names. I don't know.
they're pretty California
Yeah.
names. And Kyler has apparently been spreading lies about Sam.
I just want him to do something surprising at this point. Like, actually, he volunteered after school for some kids.
The
but no,
surprising
Kyler
thing
remains-
is that he's Asian.
Yeah,
All he has to do is just keep being himself and being Asian, and he's like
That's
breaking
true.
barriers down.
so he's spreading vile rumors about Sam.
He says that she went down on him in a theater, Alanis style.
Yeah.
And he also tells Yasmin and Moon that she thinks that she's better than them. Why they take Kyler's word for it is beyond me, but essentially she's got no friends. She goes to the cafeteria to sit at their regular table. Oh, she can't. Yasmin has put a purse on her chair. She goes to sit with Aisha.
Aisha's not having it.
Aisha's not having it. I like that. I think,
How do you like them apples, Sam?
right.
Before, just the last episode, she's like, what is bullying, really?
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of the concept.
Right, and as we were saying in, like, our last podcast, like, there's something about, like, oh, this is your oldest friend, and basically you are watching your friends bully her. You're not, like, this innocent bystander. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that...
Yeah, Sam actually...
On the moral scale, that's wrong. Like, you can't just say, like, I don't know why they keep doing this, but don't worry about it. Like, you'll get
I
over
would
it.
even go as far to say Sam is a bystander to her own life. All she does is sit there and watch other people get in on the action. So, actually, this was what happens in the cafeteria when...
She's got nowhere to sit. She decides to go and confront Kyler. Kyler turns around and, like, you know... Kyler's at her, you know. He gets in a pretty good dig, I think, about, like, you know...
The Dick Billboard gate.
So that I know,
Billboard
right?
Ghazi will never go away.
It continues to pay dividends when he tells her, like,
Yeah,
well,
it's
you
not
know, like
part of
that
the
big
town
dick
lore.
on your dad's face. I guess it runs in the family.
Yeah, that's a
okay,
pretty good
yeah.
burn.
Miguel sees this going on and just,
And
like...
he defends her honor.
He defends her honor. And thus ensues such a wonderful ass whooping. And by the way, like, we haven't touched on this because we're getting to Miguel now, but, like, the episode begins with, like, a great Miguel montage.
An epic montage of him doing push-ups and running and...
He does other things. Oh,
all other things
a
that
baseball
look painful to
machine
do.
is set up, and, like, baseballs keep flying at him.
That
Johnny,
was a new one.
Yeah, Johnny gets him in a chokehold, you know, and, like,
Multiple chokeholds.
He's told that there's no tapping out in karate. Again, this is my feeling that the Cobra Kai philosophy, like, would probably steamroll another kid, and we actually see
It
this
would
eventually.
steamroll us,
It would.
to be very clear.
I'd like to think that I have enough.
I was like, I gotta work out more.
It made me want to do push-ups, this montage. It was so good.
I know.
But I feel like I have enough violence and rage in my soul. I'd like to think that this might work for me, because it definitely, you see it working for Miguel. And, like, of course, after that montage at the beginning, to see him kick ass, like, take on Kyler and three of his, like, backup
How much time do you
goons.
think has elapsed between when he starts his training and...
There's a
does
moment
that
where
cafeteria
he's doing
scene?
push-ups, and they show, like, at first he's doing push-ups in sunlight, and then he's doing push-ups and his house is decorated for Christmas. So I think they're trying to show...
subtle. I just thought they'd, like, show a calendar, and, like, he'd... So my favorite training montage is from Rocky IV.
Of course. Well, I mean, it is the best.
It's also because it's such a... They're so heavy-handed and obvious with what they're doing with the montage. So if you haven't seen Rocky IV, it's the epic fight between Khal Drogo, the Russian, who's using all of his machines and his stair stepper and his steroids to win, and Rocky is like out there in the Siberian wilderness using like lifting wood and lifting poly and staring into the mirror angrily.
Yeah, that happens in that movie.
Yeah, actually, who do you think Rocky is, Miyagi-Do or Cobra Kai?
Oh, that's
I'm
difficult.
forcing you to answer.
You're making me do this. Obviously, if you look at Rocky 1... No, oh, man, the parallels. Now I see them.
Yeah,
in Rocky
so
1,
many.
like, obviously, Rocky is Daniel's son, like, the untested youth going up against an established champion. But in Rocky 4, it's not really that way. He's a rich brat.
So he's
and
still
honestly,
Daniel's son, you're saying?
Yeah, actually, he's Daniel's son all grown up and rich and, like, flaunting his wealth and, like, you know, kind of being a tool. And I think Ivan Drago is the unsung hero of this all. A man forced to fight.
I know we came out as uber patriots on the last episode, but I'm all in on Khal Drogo. I was rooting for him the entire way. I wanted Rocky to lose.
I thought his name was Ivan Drago.
Okay, Drago.
Are you all in on him? But yeah, Ivan Drago, I think, represents...
Tweet at us about the correct pronunciation.
Yes, we were dying to know, actually. So, anyways, what was our point? Oh, yeah, Miguel is awesome.
Yes, and another Johnny lesson. He says, you want a fair fight, dream on, and then he sweeps Johnny's leg. He actually takes Johnny down successfully
with the sweep.
I know.
And now we have to deal with the last major plot line in this episode, Life of Robby.
The life of Robby, and what a sad life it is.
And
Oh, God, you did feel bad for
don't
him,
know
didn't
why.
you?
No, wait, let me finish. I don't know why Robby leaves me unmoved.
Oh, wow. Cold. Ice in your veins. Love that.
I don't know what it is.
He had to watch his mom hook up with some random guy, and you know that wasn't the first time.
Okay, now you're making it sound pornographic. It's not exactly what happens. Robby comes home, and he has this honestly kind of edible interaction with his mom where he's like, hey, Mom, got your favorite pizzas. You want to make dinner and
Why
watch
do you
a
sound
movie?
so seductive right now?
Because he sounds that way. And then...
He's lonely. Oh, my God.
And then
Am I defending Robby?
You are. Oh, my
Take
God.
a shower now.
His mom is like, no, honey, I'm going to go out tonight to meet a man. And, you know, Robbie's like, you seeing that guy again? Which, again, sounds like weirdly jealous. Look, I get it. She's a bad mom. He's a lonely kid. But the interaction was just strange. Anyways, Robbie's mom does mention offhand that Johnny came by and talked about, like, Robby moving in with him. And she's like, oh, it's all bullshit. But you can see a little spark.
Yeah,
in Robbie's
later
eyes.
you see Robby looking up the Cobra Kai website, and I'm sure he's like, wow, my dad knows how to make a website. He does not.
Yeah.
His surrogate son, however, does know how to make a
Right.
website.
You know, you can see maybe that's when he gets a suspicion, like, who knows HTML? Not my dad.
Hell
Some
no.
interloper. And then, so Robbie's mom at that point comes home, towing a man behind her, you know, and then, like, Robby gets to hear them have sex in the bedroom. So
his mom is out there husband hunting, I guess.
Right, you know, and basically was just like, you're going to leave me all alone. I need to find someone else. So we get it. Robby loves his mom, but his mom's not particularly.
I think it makes total
great.
sense that he's like, hey, my dad offered to let me live with him. Now seems like a great idea to get out and pursue that option.
Right, but then we see, and this, of course, because I am just not Team Miguel, and I especially just think Johnny and Miguel are the heart of the relationship.
Another ovary melting scene.
You do see that, yeah, where Miguel tells Johnny about his success at taking on 4 bullies in the school. And Johnny is, like, so proud of him that they go out to his car, and Johnny opens the trunk of his car and takes out the gi that he wore when he was training for, like, a tournament in 1981. And he gives it to Miguel, and they hug. First they do, like, one of those stupid man hugs, but then they really hug.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah,
and
it was
then
a proper hug, and Robby witnesses it all.
Yeah, like a creeper, just watching from the shadows.
There are
like the
so
Phantom
many
of the
people
Opera.
that are lurking around the Cobra Kai dojo. There's Daniel in the parking lot. There's Robby around the corner. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Right. And so he lurks, and then apparently decides that, like, well, I mean, now I'm never going to be able to move in with my dad because he has a surrogate Latino son, obviously.
He got a lot from that one scene.
He got a lot from... like,
his
dad hugged another kid, okay.
He could have been just giving away geese.
Right?
You know, that day.
With geese and free hugs. It could have been just that. It didn't have
Seems
to
like
be
that
another
kinda guy.
paternal bond. But, you know, that's what Robby concludes. And, of course, he decides that the best revenge is served elaborate and cold. Because he goes to... You see the next scene, you see him at LaRusso Auto, being hired as, like, an intern of sorts by...
A car intern?
A car, I guess. He's being hired to do something...
I think he's getting paid. I mean,
Okay.
It seems like a job. Also...
He's being hired to, like,
so
sweep
young.
up and do some random work.
That's right, but... Hey,
at LaRusso Auto Group.
A little flash of Darth Robby. Robby apparently falsified his CV to make himself older because Amanda is not going to be hiring some
Right, she thinks
high
that
school
he's a high school
dropout.
graduate who's like putting off college for a year to find himself. So she hires him, and then, you know, you can just like, you know, oh God, what's going to go down? And also, what is Robby, you know what?
What was he thinking?
What was he trying to accomplish? Like, you never really get the sense of that, because, okay, can I give a spoiler here, because it's pretty obvious?
Okay.
Eventually, like, he'll meet Daniel LaRusso, and they'll get along, and Daniel LaRusso will teach him some karate. So obviously, like, if you're Robby and you've read the script, you know that will happen and drive your dad mad. But, like, if you're Robby...
I like to think that none of the characters or none of the actors really know what's happening until they read the script.
Right,
that
like,
day.
if you're Robby and you haven't read the script, like, if you're just Robby, assume he's a real person, what does he think is going to happen when he starts entering an auto dealership? Like, his dad will be like, how dare you intern for my enemy? Like, that's a little bit... Because, like, it's not like he knows he'll develop that bond with Daniel and learn karate from, like, another dojo master. Anyways.
I mean, again, as we said, karate in the Valley is this, like, incredible thing that everyone follows. And he knows that you can't just get involved with LaRusso Auto without being exposed
Without
to
becoming,
karate.
like, his pupil, disciple.
Yeah,
And
it's inevitable.
Yeah, that's completely insane. But okay, I'll buy it. All right. So I am sorry for spoiling that a little bit, but as I said, it's kind of like you can see where that arc is going. It's just odd that Robby sees where that arc is going too. All right, okay.
Oh, man.
So, any final thoughts on this episode?
I was
Anything we
going to
haven't
say...
covered?
I was going to say that I think it's kind of alarming that none of the adult characters seem to have any friends to hang out with. They're all forming bonds with teens.
It's true. That's
And-
actually a little strange.
Yeah, like, I mean...
Every
oh, God.
every full-grown man in this show will eventually have a teenage best friend, which is interesting.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, Daniel is recreating the dynamic. I mean, he's primed for Robby because he was hanging out with, you know, an older... It all sounds horribly tawdry, and it's not. It's about bonsais. It's about making friends.
It's about hanging around old men when you're
Much
a teenager.
older.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Just it's friendships, guys. Invest in them.
Right? And also, getting a young disciple or Padawan can really do
It's
good things for
overrated
you.
also because I feel like Daniel, you know, I feel like he became Miyagi's Padawan and then he just wouldn't leave.
Right?
You know?
Like, you know, he's 44,
Only
hanging around
death
Miyagi's
released
kitchen.
Miyagi
Right?
from this relationship. Actually, did you see the episode itself was dedicated to Pat Morita?
It was, yeah.
And it was very sweet.
Yeah.
So, in honor of that first flashback, which I do admit was a little cute.
Yeah, I kind of hate myself, but I was a little moved by that.
I know, and you've been getting 5 episodes of Cobra Kai lessons, so you're already kind of like Team Cobra Kai, whereas this is like the first seed of Team Miyagi, I
Team
guess?
Miyagi, yeah, that's right. And
And the lesson itself is
it's a good
fine.
lesson, yeah. It's a little, like you said, a little basic, but it's nice to see that. And as I said, I think the Cobra Kai philosophy does not work for everybody, so it's kind of nice to see like this sort of gentler side of karate in the form of Miyagi, and then Daniel's sometimes weird interpretation of
yeah, and I will. Oh, other thing that I noticed was that before Miguel kicks Kyler's ass in that cafeteria, he says, "This isn't lame ass karate; it's Cobra Kai." So he's drawing a distinction there. Cobra Kai is not just a cooler subset of karate; it's its own thing.
Cobra Kai is a lifestyle.
Yeah. Okay, you ready to rate the episode?
I'm ready to rate the episode.
Okay.
I give it 5 cafeteria trays to the face, just like Kyler got.
Oh, mine is similar. I would say 5 body slams for Aisha.
Nice.
Because she's awesome. I am really excited to see her finally standing up to Sam and her shitty friendship and channeling her attention towards something that can, I don't know, give her something back.
Give her a little self-respect. Yeah.
Okay,
kids. Well, first of all, thanks for listening. And if you are interested in being our Padawan or disciple,
yes,
or intern like Robby is, feel free to follow us on Twitter.
Send your auto dealership applications to CobraKaiNeverDiesCast@gmail.com. Also, please follow us on Twitter at Kai_cast. Because I'm just retweeting the shit out of Ralph Macchio. You don't know what Ralph Macchio is up to these days. Can I just say, final thing that I've noticed? William Zabka's Twitter account is entirely dedicated to promoting the show. Very normal things. Ralph Macchio, however, God bless him, recently retweeted a Taco Bell, new drink. And he's like, you gotta be kidding me. He is the ultimate dad.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he is so Daniel LaRusso.
That's actually
maybe
kind of
minus
precious.
the rage issues, so that's nice. But anyway,
we also want to say a special thank you to the people who follow us and subscribe to us on YouTube and have left comments for us. You give us a reason to go on living. Thank you. And also, they're very helpful comments that point good things out that we miss sometimes.
Good predictions as well.
Right. And I believe we got a comment saying that Robby's 90s style, which we made fun of for 20 minutes in the last episode.
At least 20 minutes.
I mean, maybe it's an allusion to the fact that Robby is stuck in the 90s just as his father, Johnny, is stuck in the 80s.
It's true. Everyone picks a decade to fixate on.
Right? I get that.
Yep. Okay.
So, should we do it?
Yep.
All right.
Strike first.
Strike hard.
No mercy!